Hello YouTubers, subscribers and friends, it's your boy, I seek out the truth. It's a beautiful day today. Blue skies, they say it's going to get about 78, 80 degrees today. I got a little bit of time. I'm going to run down to this welder here. And the drift trike bike saga continues. I'm going to take this down there and see what he says. He says he needs to see it before he can tell me what he would charge. So he's only about 2-3 miles from where I live, so I could do it on my way to town and get this thing once again on the road. I mean, I've been to a lot of welders. It's not a problem finding the welder, it's a problem finding somebody to do a very small job cheap. And that's the problem. If I wanted to just pay anybody any price, I could have found a welder a long time ago. But it's the process of finding somebody to do a cheap job for me. So we'll see how it turns out. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't need to bring the handlebars. They don't need welded. Maybe I bring the wheel. Alright, let me get... I don't see anybody around. It's his workshop. Alright, talk to the welder guy. Not the welder guy, but the welder guy's brother. And, he couldn't give me a price. He says I have to talk to his brother Travis. And I talked to Travis on the phone. He said he's going to be here. And as long as I'm here before 10 o'clock. And it's 9:22 and he's not here. And his brother just told me, no, yeah, he hasn't even been in at all today. So, I mean, this guy, you tell somebody you're going to be here and, you know, and then you show up and you're not here. What kind of business person is that? So, yeah, his brother welds and stuff, but he's not allowed to give prices. So, I got to call him back at 3 o'clock. He said he's going to explain to his brother. He's like, oh, that's a very cool setup you got there, but it looks like it could be a complicated weld job, and, you know, I don't give prices on these kind of complicated welding jobs. So you have to call back and talk to my brother Travis. And I was like, man, I think I'm just going to end up having to go buy a welder and do this myself, because this is the mentality of these welders that I'm meeting. It's like they don't want to touch anything small like the job that I have. It's the attitude that I'm getting from all these welders that I'm going to and I'm talking to. I mean, it's frustrating. You know, just because I don't have a freaking 5-acre property that you're going to build a wrought iron fence around and make mega bucks off of, you know, you look at my little small job and you're like, oh man, I've heard every excuse, every story so far from the 6 or 7 welders that I've gone to, and do nothing but waste my time, you know, trying to just get it, just a little bitty job. That's what's frustrating. It's such a little job, you know. Even though I don't know how to weld, I could probably figure it out myself if I had a welder, but it's just this red trike just does not want to get built. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's bad karma off the bicycle that I'm trying to build it out of. I have no idea. But this is just a typical reaction I'm getting from every welder. I've gone to the other side of Tucson, 50 miles from where I live, to see a welder who basically said the exact same thing to me. It's not a complicated welding thing. It's a little job. That's the problem. And I think some of them think they're too good to do a little job or do favors for somebody. It's just, I don't know. It's just blowing my mind. These welding people, you know, just blowing my mind. I don't know. I want to go to this Picture Rocks Hardware over here and talk to them, see if they know any welders in this area. This is the only hardware store we have here in Picture Rocks, the town I live in. But I don't know, I get frustrated. I just want to quit. And then an idea pops in my head, and then I'm like, well, let me go try this idea. So let's see what they say over here, these hardware guys. And if this video is getting staticky because I'm riding in my car, I don't know what it is. Maybe the camera picks up the electrical interference in my truck or something, but it only does it when I'm driving in my truck. Alright, let me go. So I go into this Picture Rocks Automotive, not automotive, but hardware, and ask them, and they give me the phone number to the guy that I just came from, and the guy in there says that no, he doesn't like to do small jobs. So I was telling him about my situation I'm having. I even asked if they rent welders, because they rent all kinds of tools here, and they don't even rent welders. So he gave me another number to an automotive guy, and I called the automotive guy up, and he's like, he doesn't handle small jobs like that. He just basically welds automotive stuff. And he told me about a guy named Julian's Welding here in Picture Rocks. It's mobile, but then he doesn't have his phone number, his address. So it's like this is weird. It's very weird trying to find anybody who does welding. It's just I don't know, I'm lost. So I've called 3 mechanics here in Picture Rocks where I live, and they all given me this guy's name, Tony. I mean, not Tony, but Julian at Julian's Welding, and he's a mobile welder. And fire department. And he says he's not working today. He's off today because he's got to watch his daughter. And I explained to him what I want, and he says that the bike's aluminum. I said, no, it's not aluminum, it's steel. And pretty much, he's mobile. I said, I'm driving around trying to find a welder. I'll come to you. I'm right on Picture Rocks Road where everybody says that your shop is worked off at. And he's like, no, don't come by. I'll come to you. I'm like, oh, all right, well, you know, because I'm just trying to find somebody today. And I just want an estimate. You don't have to weld anything today. Just give me an estimate, and then we'll go from there. And he pretty much said, I'm off today. I'm not working. So, you know, maybe he'll call me later. He said after his wife or whatever picks up his daughter. I don't know, but it's just people are interested until I tell them what I need welded, and then as soon as I tell them, you know, it's a BMX bike that I cut apart and I need to weld stuff back together, they start backpedaling and just I don't know. It is extremely strange the reactions I'm getting. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe he changed his mind. Alright, so that phone call was Julian's Welding, and he told me how to get to the shop, and he said he'll go meet me over there right now. So, now he sounds desperate. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, I don't know, man. This is weird how this whole welding situation, every welder, it doesn't matter what part of town I'm gone east side, south side, west side, north side. I've called so many people, and then when I go meet them, they're not there, or they start backpedaling and they start making up excuses or stories. You know, this job's too small, and I got to charge a minimum of 2 hours, and you know, it's just, you know, doesn't anybody want to help somebody out once in a while? I mean, it don't just have to be for me, but for anybody. You know, not every job has to be a big job where you get rich off of. You know, who knows how many jobs I can send his way if they do a small job for me. You know, so, you know, they're really, you know, cutting off their own hand when they denied the work that, you know, I'm looking for, because I will not give out anything positive about any of these people I've gone to. You know, it's just, that's the way it works, man. You help somebody out, man, I'll spread the word to everybody I know that needs any kind of welding. And it's just, you know, word of mouth is better than advertisement. So let me go see this Julian guy and see what where he is. I gotta look for the road. Alright, that's Julian's Welding. And he wants $150. He won't do it for less. He doesn't barter. And because he says that he'd have to replace the tubing, the pipe I have, because it's galvanized pipe. And he doesn't weld that because he says it's very hazardous to weld on that, poisonous. And he won't go any cheaper than 150. He'd have to let them pick it up in 2 days. I asked him why is everybody quoting such a high price? And he's like, I don't know why everybody else is quoting, but 150, that's my minimum. It's because I insure all my welds in case something breaks. You can bring it back and re-weld it for free. But nothing ever breaks it. I weld. That's what he says. And I tried the barter system with him. He said bartering means nothing to him. He'd rather have cash. Even in today's society, the dollar, who knows when that thing could crash. But anyways, that's what number 8 welder we've gone to. And that's the Trike saga continues. I thought for sure that this guy would haggle with me and do something, but man, I was way off on this guy. Because I don't know, I have no idea, but a couple of days? Come on. Seriously, these welders, man, they got a minimum charge of 2 hours, a couple of days, whatever. I think the welding community is in the same bracket as lawyers and doctors. They're all scammers. That's what it's boiling down to, and that's my feeling that I'm finding in the welding industry. Thank God I don't need this welding done, like to save my life or something, because this is just ridiculous. These people, man, it's just scam artists. A couple of days, get real. Okay, so I'm coming from the welder, right? And I came down this road earlier, and this wasn't here. And now I'm on my way back home, and there's a treadmill on the side of the road. Somebody just left there on the side of the road. It's pretty beat up looking. I'm wondering if even the motor works in there. But that's the kind of stuff that happens to me all the time. That wasn't there when I came down this way not 10 minutes ago. And now it's a treadmill sitting on the side of the road. My wife won't believe me. That's why I'm filming this. I'm not gonna pick that up. Normally I would pick it up, but I don't feel like dealing with junk right now. But that's the funny thing. It's a treadmill on the side of the road. Somebody just dumped it there. So I'm driving around trying to find this other welder called Tony's off of the street I live off of, and can't find him. And I saw this guy. He was out here working on his truck, and he's got a shop and a tractor and everything. I'm like, well, maybe this guy knows, people like this working heavy duty stuff like this. Maybe he's heard of Tony's Welding over here, and he's never heard of him either. Never heard of the street either, and I've never heard of the street he's supposed to be off of. And turns out this guy does welding for like off-road trucks, blazers, and bumpers. He makes custom bumpers and stuff. So I said, well, let me just ask him. And he said, oh yeah, I can do that. That's easy, man. Just leave it with me and pick it up in a couple of days. And I'm like, a couple of days? Why does everybody keep telling me a couple of days? It's like if I was to do it myself, it'd be like maybe a 30-minute job for myself, and I don't know what I'm doing. So he's like, yeah, no problem, man. So I'm like, well, before I agree to anything, what kind of deal would you make with me? And he's like, $100. I said, $100? He's like, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I'm like, no, I've gotten better deals than that, but... And he's like, well, I can't get to it for a couple of days, so it's like, I said, so So I said to him, I looked him straight in the face. I said, I tell you what, can I borrow your welder and I'll do it myself? I don't even know how to weld, but I'm willing to try. He thought that was hilarious. He started laughing. He's like, I don't lend out tools to nobody. So I'm like, oh, well, you never know unless you try. So I tried the barter system with him. And he said, yeah, tools. So I busted out some of my snap-on tools. And he pretty much said, nah, I don't like snap-on. So I'm like, I thought everybody does snap-on. So I'm like, well, thanks a lot, man. I'm going to go try to find this Tony's welding. And he's like, good luck. And man, $100 I could go buy a Harbor Freight, but I promised my wife I wouldn't invest a lot of money in this Trike project. So the drama continues. There's a cop sitting over there trying to buzz people for speeding. Good thing I'm talking, I'm not speeding. All this driving around looking for welders is making me hungry. So I'm going to run over here to Subway and get me a Subway sandwich. And as far as this drift trike welding project concerns, time to shelf it again until I can think of something else or figure out something else, because I'm not spending $100 to have somebody weld something for me when I could just go to Harbor Freight, buy a welder for $100 and do it myself, and then I'll have a welder in case I ever want to. Well, I'm back home from trying to find a welder to do a welding job for me, and what I've come down to figuring out is that I need to just probably buy my own welder. So I'm putting my camera up for sale, my video digital high definition digital camera. I'm running another ad on Craigslist for a cheap welder that likes to do barter system, and because I'm done going to different welders, that saga is over. I'm done with that. Been there, done that. Getting nothing but frustrated. And I'm learning that the welding industry is, if anybody asks me what should I be when I grow up, I say become a welder, because you can rake people over the coals about how much you want to charge them for welding. I mean, this is an extremely small welding job, and the most I've been quoted is $250 in 1 week. I drove 65 miles one way just to go see this guy. I showed him my drift trike. He told me $250, leave it with me in a week. Pick it up in a week and it'll be done. The cheapest I found is $100, which I just talked to the guy. He wasn't even a welder. I was just driving by his house trying to find the other welder, Tony's Welding, which I've never found. I gave up looking for it. Never heard of even the streets that the guy told me it's on. This guy, just some Joe Blow in his yard, $100 and leave it with him a couple days. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to try to get something positive out of this story. So I'm going to make sure that my son goes to welding school, learn how to weld. That way he can learn him a trade. And I'm going to teach him the value of making an honest deal with people, because these welders are, like I said before, like doctors and lawyers. They're just charging through the yin-yang for such a small job. I can't even imagine what they will charge for a larger job. Because the most $250 on this little BMX bike, just a couple welding spots, that is just, man, that's highway robbery. Even $100. Come on, it's like a 15-20 minute job. I just don't get it. Why these people got to charge so much money? I mean, you know, you'll make more money giving somebody a good deal, because that person will spread the word, say, oh yeah, this guy's really cool, he charges, he's cheap, he's got good work, you know, stuff like that. You know, you're just biting off the hand that feeds you by charging outrageous prices. Because he was telling me, you know, that yeah, he advertises on Craigslist. He does off-road bumpers, tubular bumpers, big steel bumpers, for just specialized just in K5 Blazers and suspensions and stuff like that. Man, I got, you know, I can make a video, put it on video, promote his business for him and stuff like that. And he wasn't even interested. He must make so much money that he wasn't even interested in free advertisement. Even though he said he would think about doing the barter system, doing trades for tools and stuff like that. I offered him a whole snap-on ratchet set, wrenches that I got doubles of, and he said he didn't like snap-on. So I don't know what to say. So now I'm going to try to sell my digital camera, and hopefully my birthday's coming up. My wife will give me a new camera, and the money I get from selling this camera or whatever else I can sell, maybe I'll just go out and buy me a Harbor Freight welder and just weld it myself. But the positive thing is, I learned one thing. I got a trade. I'm going to point my son in that direction in welding. Send him to welding school or something. That way he will never run into this problem. He can weld his own stuff. And I'm finding, driving around trying to find somebody to weld something for you is very, very energy burning. Makes you hungry, and I'm starving, so it's time to eat my lunch. And in this video, on that note, the drift trike drama is being shelved again until I can figure out something else to eat. Look at this turkey ham sandwich. They got a $5 special going on at Subway's. Time to eat. I'm going. Give me some grubbage.